Hello, friends. Welcome back to Stylist Soul Tribe Conversations. I am joined today by my friend Eve. We connected back, how long ago was it now? Was it 2 years ago?
It was, oh my gosh, was it 2020? Was it 2022 or 2023?
It could have been either of, it might have been 2022, honestly. It was a long time ago. And I was thinking that I didn't say this when we were kind of prefacing what we were going to talk about today, but I was thinking that. So Eve and I connected when we both were asked to fly out to Kajabi headquarters. They just saw some of their like top performing, up and coming kind of creators. And we were talking about it. We both got the same random email that was like top secret, come to Kajabi headquarters and hang with a bunch of other creators for the day. And we connected there, which feels like it was kind of just yesterday, also feels like it was a lifetime ago. And while we haven't stayed super duper in touch, I am so grateful that we got connected that initial weekend because we have stayed in touch over the years. Every 6 months to a year or so, we'll hop on a Zoom call and just say, hey, what's going on? What's happening in your world? It is so valuable to have friends in this online space that get it in ways that for me, hairstylists unfortunately don't get. It's just a whole different ball game. I will have you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where you're from, and then we'll just kind of jam from there.
Cool. So my name is Eve Guzman. I am a functional nutrition and macro-based nutritionist who's also a medical laboratory scientist. I started off as a laboratory scientist managing laboratories. I didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur whatsoever. I was actually hiding behind a lot of weight. So I didn't have the confidence I have now to like put myself out there and talk to clients and market and do all that jazz. I was almost 300 pounds. I decided, like, hey, I'm a smart girl. Why don't I use all of this science education and degrees to help myself lose weight and get
Yeah.
super serious about it? Went on a path to lose 150 pounds, was successful,
Oh.
ended up in People magazine, had a lot of people following me online. And I was like, why not start a side hustle trying
Mhm.
to help people do what I did and like lose weight naturally with science that's customized to themselves? Long story short, that was 2014. Here we are 11 years later. And now I spend most of my time business and nutrition mentoring
Mm.
fitness, nutrition coaches, registered dietitians, doctors, chiropractors, helping them build their own businesses so they can have happiness, financial freedom, and have, time freedom to work from anywhere. So that's in a
Absolutely
nutshell.
incredible. Yeah. So I guess what is your course called? What is I guess, and then how did the coaches come from that? Because I think the ecosystem you've created just from like an online business standpoint is super impressive and super cool. So tell them a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I love our ecosystem. It's so unique. We actually have the biggest collective of macronutrition coaches in
Wow.
the world.
Wow.
Not
Wow.
like
That's
the US,
you, girl. That's
the world.
crazy.
It is huge. So we actually rebranded a year ago and we renamed it the Macro University. So macros, tracking protein, carbs, and fats. We've got
Mm.
two certifications now. One is called Macro Mentorship for Coaches. That collective and that group has coached over 1,500 clients, not just in the US, but in more than 15 countries in the
Wow.
world. And now I teach a functional nutrition coaching cert where we talk about hormones, lab work, going beyond, okay, I'm doing all the exercise, I'm eating right, but is something wrong internally? Can I
Mm.
check some things out and see what's going on? And we've been doing this since 2018. States, they meet up, they go to coffee shops, we go to different mastermind events, workshops, seminars, conferences. I hold some of my own things like you do. We get
Yeah.
together, we have a good time, we get to like be ourselves and be around other
Mhm.
people like us.
And you should really, I can hear how proud you are as you talk about it, and you should be so fucking proud because what
Thank
an incredible thing that you have created that wouldn't exist if it weren't for you, and it weren't for you making that decision way back when you did to make a change in your own life, but then to be brave enough to put yourself out there and to, I know every step of the way has been learning and evolving and shifting and changing. So it's really fucking cool, and I am really proud of you, and it's incredible to hear feedback and what value Eve can bring to this industry. And we were talking about how there is just kind of this industry narrative, which I'm a big fan of trying trying to change and shift, but the hairstylist runs on iced coffee all day, 12-hour days. And while I am pretty passionate about helping stylists shift their business where that's not the case, I'd be lying if I said some days I just don't even really see the need to schedule a lunch, and it's totally okay for me to just kind of scarf something down in between clients. So I guess tell me what your take is on just like easy wins, how hairstylists can put themselves first, and what your take is on that kind of narrative and what tools and tidbits that we can use.
Oh my gosh, I have so much to say. You guys
Mm-hmm.
can't be living on coffee and fumes. And that, like,
Mm-hmm.
you guys know how it goes. You show up with a coffee. Some of your best clients then bring you a coffee. You're
Yep.
like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. What do you want from Starbucks? Like, you know how
Yep.
it ends up going. But you guys cannot be running like on coffee and fumes.
Yeah.
Like, you do want to try to start your day with protein and carbs and coffee. Can you start
Mm-hmm.
the coffee first? Yeah. But within 30 minutes to an hour, you've got to have some protein in there. There's like this thing going on probably since 2024, all this cortisol crap's all over the
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're not losing weight, cortisol. Do you have cortisol face? Do you have cortisol
Mm-hmm.
moon face? Unless you test, none of us truly know is our cortisol spiking.
Yeah.
But I can definitely tell you if you are getting up in the morning and you're having caffeine only, you're definitely
Mm-hmm.
spiking your cortisol. So if you're having hormonal imbalances, you've got some weight that's kind of already, stubborn to lose because maybe you've got that jam-packed 12-hour day schedule. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
put something with the coffee to keep that spike from happening because cortisol helps us get up in the morning, right? It gets a really bad rap, but we need it to
Like,
get,
but we need it. Yeah, it's
yeah,
there
we
for a
need
reason.
it's
Totally.
there to make us wake up.
Yeah.
It's also looking to be matched with calories and
Mm.
not just from the creamer and the coffee. It wants protein and carbs with it. If you don't get it, it actually spikes our cortisol in an effort to keep us up, but it's also because caffeine does raise cortisol. So you want to pack something with it, even if it's a muffin, fruit, whatever.
Okay.
You can't be living just like on coffee and fumes.
So would you say in general you are not a fan then of the intermittent fasting? Or I hear a lot of people, this isn't me, but I hear a lot of people say I'm just not hungry in the morning. I'm like nauseous in the morning. That's not where my mind is. I need breakfast and I'm gonna tell you what my like go-to is. What do you say to the people that are just like, I'm just not hungry in the morning, it's not gonna happen?
It's because you've made yourself that way.
Mm-hmm.
We create any type of situation we're in, like we make that. If we
Yeah.
prioritize ourselves and do good stuff, then we have a better feeling, maybe even a better looking body. If we
Yeah.
treat our bodies like shit, you're gonna have a shitty body.
And
When
feeling body,
you
yeah.
are not hungry in the morning, it's because you've taught your body to go, hey girl, I know we're not eating till 12 o'clock, so don't be hungry. We actually
Mm-hmm.
create that type of environment. And
Mm-hmm.
intermittent fasting is okay, but you're still adding that, you're creating a dumpster fire when you're adding
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of caffeine that some of us are using to keep
As fuel.
down and to use as fuel because it numbs the hunger, it keeps us going. There's something filling up our belly. There are a lot of people who aren't eating enough protein, enough calories, don't work out, have anxiety, adrenal issues, mental health stuff, breastfeeding, menopause, hormonal imbalances. If you're any of that,
Mm-hmm.
intermittent fasting isn't really good for you.
For sure.
Eat food.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of intermittent fasting. My husband likes to do it when he's in a deficit and when he cuts, which he doesn't do often. He's always like trying to get bigger and stronger, but sometimes he will intentionally cut a little bit and it works well for him. And he drinks black coffee. I'm a creamer coffee kind of girl, so I can't do it. I am somebody who wakes up famished. I am
Yeah,
always hungry when I wake up, and my go-to is eggs with cottage cheese, whip it up, scramble that on a piece of toast with real butter. That's pretty
that's
good, right?
perfect. Because you get protein, you get some fat, and then you get the carbs. You
Yeah,
want
and it's
one
typically
of
a
every,
higher quality bread too. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what my
And
body craves.
yeah. But yeah, you knew when if your body is not wanting to eat till 11, 12, 1 or 2, it's because you've actually taught your body to run on fumes.
Mm,
And yeah, you might be getting to that time point in the day and be like, yay, I didn't have to eat to then. But it's also causing a lot of hormonal dysfunction that may not have caught up with you yet. 5 years, 10 years, let me know how that's going for
mm.
you.
So how about those easy wins? Like, what would you say for those people who say they're not hungry and it's hard for them to eat, what would you drip in slowly to start to kind of train your body back? And or I think some people maybe will, as they're going through Starbucks, get an egg white, turkey bacon muffin, but then not eat until 8 p.m. again. How important is that lunch too? Or where do you kind of stand on that?
So, like the easy wins to kind of start to roll your breakfast back if you're not super hungry in the morning. It can be
Yeah.
like those turkey chomps or like a jerky stick, that and an apple. So that's
Okay.
protein and then like a carb, a
Fiber.
great for you carb, a protein bar, or you could do half of one. You can do a boiled egg. You can do one fried egg. Not a lot of oil. Don't like go
Mm-hmm.
overboard, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
the cheese, put it on 2 slices of bread. It can even be just a Greek yogurt. That can be
Yeah.
60 calories, 100, 200. The yogurt or the oatmeal cups that are at Starbucks, the turkey breakfast sandwich, perfect. Even those little egg white bites, those are easy
Yep.
wins. Like when in doubt, always think protein first.
Okay.
Is there something else that I can add to it?
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to start packing some snacks. So it
Yeah.
could be like the turkey
I love the chomps.
meat
Uh-huh.
chopstick or whatever, and in an apple. Or when your client texts you, can I bring you a coffee? It's the same price typically for them to bring you a sandwich. Probably
Yeah.
cheaper. The sandwich is probably
Mhm.
like 5.99. The drink,
Definitely the egg white bites are cheaper. Yeah.
yeah, they're like
Mhm.
$4. You got to make that intentional switch because you do want to try to eat protein of some
Mhm.
sort 3 times a day.
Obviously, this is a stupid question. I know water is important, but water is one thing I'm really bad at. I think I'm pretty good at a lot of other things. I hate having to pee all the time. So I've done like 75 hard. I've done where I've drank a gallon of water a day. I'm like, this is so impractical. This is so stupid. We would be on this call. I'd have to get up and pee 3 times. I hate that. Do you have a healthy balance of that? Do I just need to get used to it and that will eventually won't have to pee so bad? Or what amount of water would you say? I mean, what do they say? 8 glasses? I swear, even when I do that, I'm peeing nonstop. Maybe I'm being dramatic. I don't know.
So the ultimate goal is half your body weight in ounces.
Yeah, that's what
And
they
if that
say.
is a lot for you, then make your first goal 40 ounces. But I
Okay.
want everybody getting to 64 ounces, which is technically like that 8 cups.
Okay.
You're also drinking more caffeine that dehydrates you. So then you kind of got to bump that up. So if you're
Mm,
drinking a lot of coffee instead of 64, you probably need 80. If you're adding electrolytes and stuff like that,
that
pull,
will help.
because that'll make you want to go a little bit more too. But you might have
Mm,
to front load on the beginning of the day and then front load the water or back load at the end of the day if
hmm.
less clients. But when
Okay.
I'm getting my hair done, I'm getting up like if it's like a massive highlight day, I'm getting up every 60
Yeah,
minutes.
we just need to stop being inconvenienced by our body needing to move. Like that's healthy. We need to stop because I literally think it's inconvenient. I remember when I was doing 75 hard, I have a 30-minute commute to work and sometimes I couldn't even make it that 30 minutes in order to get all of my water in that day. Screw this. It just made me turn it off entirely. But I need to get better at filling up. So now there's all these different takes and I'm on TikTok. I'm chronically online. Now people are saying that certain waters are bad for you. Are you like that's a
I
crock of
just drink
shit
the
or is that
fucking
true?
water. That's in the weeds. That is so in the weeds. It's
Like
like
we cannot if we can't drink the right water, then we're really screwed. So just ignore that.
just drink. I would recommend it's filtered,
Okay.
obviously. I'm not a
Yeah.
water snob. I
Okay.
know people are like, it's got to be sparkling. I don't even know the brands of
Oh,
some
it's
of
got to be
the
glass spring, like the microplastics. I'm like, oh my God, we literally cannot win. So you say water's water. Just drink some fucking
water
water.
is water, but try not to drink it in plastic. I would
Okay.
rather you
You
have it
agree.
in like a stainless steel container or glass
Okay.
and you running out to get like spring water, filtered, sparkling. Just
Have
drink.
you seen that one guy on TikTok with the where he puts the sparkling water in the bowl and dunks his head in? You know what I'm talking about or no?
Yes, this is too much. Just
So
drink the water.
way too much. Why are we doing
Just,
so? I think
yeah,
that's kind of where I fall. Yeah, it's silly.
that's what a lot of people do. And they're like, I might as well just eat this or not do this
Yeah.
because it's just too much to think about. No, drink the water.
Yeah.
Drink the
Okay.
water, get your protein in, eat one colorful thing in the day. And
Mm.
that means you either picked an apple or maybe you had some green bell peppers on something. But
Mm-hmm.
make sure protein 3 times a day
Okay.
and get something colorful in. The more color, the better, and
Mm.
drink the water.
All right. I think that's good. I think we all know these things, and sometimes we just need to keep it simple and we just need to really stick with it and really do it. Are you like a meal planner? Do you meal plan your dinners, or how do you go about dinners?
I don't meal plan anymore. I'm probably what people call like an ingredient household.
Okay.
So there's probably like chicken already made. There's maybe eggs already in the fridge. There's probably a pot of rice already made. Like typically at all times, we've got two protein sources in the fridge cooked. We'll cook
Mhm.
Sunday or Saturday so that we can grab for it. We'll make some more on Tuesday. Rice is always made. My kids love
Mhm.
rice. We make a big pot of rice because that can go with any meal. Typically, when it's time to like pack a lunch, if I'm on the go or working from a coffee shop or I'm sitting down at home, I just got to heat up the rice and the chicken and then I'll make
Yep.
the vegetable fresh. I might pan
Yeah.
cook, microwave steam. Yes, I might microwaving broccoli is still safe.
Yeah. And again, if we're talking about microwaving broccoli or running through McDonald's real quick, like microwaving is always going to be the better option for convenience if that's what it
Mm,
takes. So you're very much a protein, a carb, a veg kind of vibe. You're not doing
yep.
like casseroles. You're not doing like all these fancy mixed things. You've just learned to
I'll
train
do
your
that
body to keep
once
it
a
simple.
week.
Okay.
But sometimes people are making their own things in their house. Like my kids are old enough to like make their own thing and they may have
Mm,
already eaten. So
mm,
I'll only do like a casserole or a pot of stuff like once or twice a week.
okay.
I am not planning out every meal every
Yeah.
day. I
You
am
know,
not.
my issue is we do like a full ass dinner and majority so some days I cook that every so I don't want to throw my husband under the bus, but he'll grill every once in a while, but he works his ass off. He's like in physical labor. And so we either I make a full ass meal that feeds all of us, but that's exhausting, or we go out to eat. And that's my problem is that we go out to eat so much. I'm sure there's hacks and tips there. What do I need to keep in mind when it comes to that?
I follow the same concept when I eat out. I try to pick the
Just
meals
carb
that have a
veggie.
protein, a carb, and
Veggie.
a
Hmm.
veggie in
Yeah.
it. Burgers, I get sandwiches, but the side is typically fruit or vegetables.
Okay.
Or I'll get the vegetables in a burger. My husband will get the fries in the burger, and then we split the
So
fries.
you can still have a little nibble of everything. Yeah.
Most of the salads on the menu are 1,000 calories anyway. Just think protein, carb,
Yeah.
veggie.
And I
And then
think when
pick
you go out to
whatever's
eat
on
too,
the
the
menu.
hidden part too is just how much is deep fried and you don't even realize what that turns into. And then a
Mhm.
glass of wine, what's your take on that? How do you figure out alcohol?
So if you have alcohol, you want to try to get most of your meals before the alcohol. And then
Okay.
once you drink alcohol, a lot of water after. And that's
Okay.
because our body does see alcohol like a fourth macro
Oh,
and it slows down our metabolism. So if you
okay.
haven't heard it, you've heard it here first.
I mean, I know it's poison, but this is
It
an
is
interesting spin
poison.
on it. Yeah.
Poison. People love it.
Mm. Do you drink or no?
Not really. Or
You.
drinks a year to kind of be cute. And I
Yeah.
try
For
like
the
I'll do a
vibes.
mimosa. I
Yeah.
can finish a mimosa,
Okay.
but I just don't even drink that much anymore. Not so much because the benefits. It's really, I mean, like, like loosening up and all of that.
Totally.
I just feel like crap after. Like
Yeah,
I
that's true.
wake
Yeah.
up the next day and I'm groggy. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't drink.
Yeah, my Aura ring knows if I even have a drop of alcohol. My resting heart
Mhm.
rate is higher when I
Yeah.
drink any alcohol. And so, yeah, I'm the same. And I don't drink much either. I'm more than 4 times a year. And I'm definitely just for the vibes. And I'm like 1 glass, that's all I need. Maybe 3 times a month is kind of where I'm at. So that
That's
is
good.
interesting. And my trouble is going out to eat because it's just, again, it is kind of for the vibes. It's just like, oh, this just feels
Mhm.
good. Someone's waiting on you. So very fascinating, very interesting tips. I love to hear it. Cool. So the other layer to what you do, and this is where I've loved our catch-up sessions, is you do just as much of this science, health, wellness as you coach to business because you have these
Yeah.
coaches underneath you. So I knew I wanted to touch on business conversation as well in this podcast episode. And we were kind of just touching, I was asked you what came up, and you were like, all the same things. You started listing what your coaches struggle with, social media. When am I going to feel like I finally made it? How to show up in my business, how to do all the things, how to spin all the plates. And as you were saying that, I was like, it really is just all the same shit. Like my girls are out here, doing hair and servicing clients. Your girls are out here servicing clients, building their businesses. But really, we all deal with the same struggle. I've had a realtor on the podcast before, I've had a photographer on the podcast before. It's all the same. The
Yeah. We're all dealing
internal
with the same
struggle is the
stuff.
same.
It is all the same. Like we're all going through the same things. We're doing things like on Instagram, if we're using that, we're navigating the algorithm.
Mm.
So we figure it out after we bitched, we do it. And then they're
Mhm.
like, now this is what you do.
Now you got to dance. Now
Do
you
it.
got to do this. Now you got to jump
And
through
then
this hoop.
so you
Yeah.
literally become a content creator, a photographer, a videographer.
Mhm.
Then you got to batch all the stuff, clip it up, put it up. Then you got to make the caption. And then
Mm.
you got to make sure it still looks good. And then what time am I posting it? When is the message hitting?
I
It goes
know.
on and on and
It's
on.
wild.
And that is just the reel that you
That's
put.
just one tiny piece of it.
That's not everything else.
And we
It's
even last time we caught up, we talked about even in our programs how there are some people who join who keep their cameras off, who are really afraid of putting themselves out there. And I find that those are the same people who are really afraid to do price increases, who are really afraid to implement things in their business. What work have you done? Has this always come natural to you? Or how do you even coach people through that? Those initial, really first steps of just like being seen and like taking ownership and really shifting how you
Mhm.
want to show up in business.
The people on any kind of coaching calls that have their Zoom off are the people that are afraid to put themselves out on social
Mhm.
media, and two, afraid to raise their prices and charge what they are worth. So
It goes together.
our programs, we talk about social media. That's the first thing, because that's the
Mhm.
first place where people will see you until they either buy your service, they end up in your chair, they come in for a consult. Even if it's a Zoom consult, they're probably
Mhm.
going to find you online if you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
And so we talk about like Instagram, the kind of how to's. We go through a basic crash course, but then we start talking about like, who is your ideal client? What is that niche? Like, what
Mhm.
problem are you solving with your service?
Yeah,
And then I do an Instagram audit and I want to go look at their page. The
totally.
first thing I'm looking for are there videos and photos of you from the waist up? Or are you putting up stock photos of someone else?
A
All
single selfie from 2 years ago.
Yes, your
Yeah.
hands only. Oh
Mm.
my gosh, I was recently looking for a makeup artist and I had to go back 3 years to figure out what the makeup artist looked
So
like.
that you could recognize her when she shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I also kind of want to see how you do your own makeup. The
Sure.
people
But
that
I
are
have so
not.
much empathy too, because I'm sure you've worked with
Mhm.
these people, and like I have certain people who come to my mind when I think of this, and like I can empathize with them so much because I know they want to get through that. I wish I knew the secret. But as you were saying that, I guess I didn't even realize when I was saying out loud that I kind of was throwing people under the bus, but there is also kind of a correlation of how you show up in your coaching environments. I notice with the success you're seeing, like the people who are really showing up and really participating and really all in and showing themselves again. I'm not trying to throw shade at those people. I'm trying to figure out, while I empathize so much, what does it take to get to that other side?
Putting yourself out there. It's
I
like taking,
know.
like the biggest thing I say is do it afraid.
Yeah.
All the things that I've been successful at is because I've gotten to the edge of the cliff. I didn't want to do it. I was scared shitless. And
Hmm.
I basically closed my eyes and I free falled. So I tell these clients, okay, when you're looking at your Instagram account and you're doing a self audit, if someone else came to your page and they never saw your face, they didn't ever hear your voice, like, do you think they're going to want to buy from you? Would you
Yeah.
buy from someone you never see or have never heard their voice?
Yeah.
You
No.
don't
The answer is
trust it.
no.
You want to like
No.
know who they are, especially
Mm.
if they're going to sit in your chair for 2.5 hours. Like they kind of want to know, who am I going to be stuck with?
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of take that leap and do it. So we do
Yeah.
challenges where we are challenging our coaches to put the very
Wow.
first post up, where it's put
Mm.
the video up that is you. What is the hardest thing for you to post? And that's the post we work on together. We've got coaches that are transformational coaches and they've got a before and after that's amazing, but they never
Hmm.
shared because they don't want to
Hmm.
show the before. I'm
Yeah.
like, you got to post your shit.
Yeah.
This is the first thing going
People
up.
need to trust you, especially if they relate to your before picture. They have to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta rip the band-aid off. But I always say on our very kickoff call, the coaches that are showing up, they're active, even if you're only asking questions in the chat. You don't have to
Yeah.
come off of mute and ask stuff. But
Mm.
like you said, the people that are there on the calls, video off, asking questions, those are the people that make their investments back.
Yep. I agree. I totally
So
agree.
fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
so fast. We have a new coach that just started 3 weeks ago, and within 14 days, she made $1,600 to make
Incredible.
back her investment.
Incredible.
And I think since she updated me, she's got 12 new clients in a row.
Incredible. Yeah.
And she's like, but the thing is,
Jumped in.
she got a win. And she's
Hmm.
like, okay, bitches, I'm going to
Off
do
to the
more.
races. Yeah.
And she just
Hmm.
keeps making more and more money, more
Yeah.
connections.
Yeah.
But she's also putting herself out there and doing short 30-second reels every day.
And
So
it does become easier the more you do it. And I think a lot of people, it's this like chicken or the egg of like, oh, once I have people who like are paying attention or are watching, or I'm thinking of someone, for example, who's about to host her first class, like teaching how to do hair. She's a salon owner, she's a stylist. She's like, but it feels so weird to talk to other hairstylists because right now I've just been talking to clients. Be happy that a ton of people who you want to be watching are not watching yet because you're not going to be doing this well for a little bit. But you literally have to start doing it to get good. And while that's happening, more people are going to come along. The snowball is going to grow. And at the exact same time, you're going to get better and better and more confident. And I think so many people have such a hard time getting that snowball started. And I just wish
mhm.
they could see that's all it takes. And also be careful what you wish for. Because if you had thousands of people following you right now, you'd be even more scared to show up. You
Yeah.
know? So like it's a natural progression for a reason.
My very first launch of our business side of stuff, of me not coaching general population, our email list had 7 people. And
Wow.
now that program has made multiple 7 figures.
So fucking cool. Again,
7
it's just
people. And my first workshop was maybe like 8 people on. Eight
and
people.
quite literally everyone starts there.
And that was
Yeah.
free. 8 people free. And I would think, oh my God, no one wants to even come and it's free. You have to start somewhere.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, I knew it was going to be good. It's so nice when you find people who just have similar ways of thinking. And so I knew you were going to bring a ton of value. I think that's kind of everything I wanted to go over. Do you have any other final thoughts? Anything else you want to share before we wrap up? I guess if people are super interested in what you have going on, how can they find you? What can I put in the show notes? How can people stay in touch?
So I keep it pretty real on Instagram. I'm not a
Cool.
gatekeeper. So you guys can find me there at Eve Guzman Official. Our website is themacrouniversity.com. You don't have to come there if you want nutrition and fitness health, but just opt into a couple of things so you can see like what
Poke
emails are
around.
like when they come out. My biggest takeaway would be that your email list is going to be the only thing you truly own, unless you have a
Mhm.
website.
For
But
sure.
still just growing and your portfolio was like all on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, get people on your email
Yeah.
list. That way, if you lose Instagram, things
Yep.
change, you decide to take a break, you have a way to reach your people so that they're constantly rebooking with you.
Yep.
So
Yep.
get an email list.
I agree wholeheartedly. Amazing. And I will have all of your info in the show notes. Thank you so much, friend, for coming on. This was a lot of fun. I think we're going to do a podcast over on Eve's podcast as well. So I'll link that as well to her podcast. And thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Everything will be in the show notes. Let us know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye.